I've had a running joke now for the past few years, maybe 5 or 6 years, where when people ask me where it is that I'm from, I often tell them that I'm from New York rather than saying from America. And in part, some of the reason behind the joke is that really it was really difficult to accept that the people in New York and the people, say, in Missouri or Idaho or Kansas, that they share a common political language or a common cultural reality, that really you have groups of people in one country seeing two very different truths. And the warning, of course, in that is that a society that can't agree on common language is a society that can't hold itself together. Which also is to say that if you can't agree on what 100 kilometers per hour is, there's no point in trying to enforce the laws. Now, the events this past Wednesday was proof, perhaps, of the prescience of my joke, although how could I have possibly known just how true it was? But I don't want to talk to you as a New Yorker or an American or a Canadian, even for that matter. No, I want to talk to you heart to heart as a Jew. Perhaps not surprisingly at all, and Jeffrey Goldberg, who's the editor of The Atlantic, posted these images on their website, that the pictures that emerged from the domestic attack on the U.S. Capitol building showed us not an insignificant number of the participants were this toxic mix of right-wing, conspiratorial QAnon fanatics who also, not surprisingly, are populated by Holocaust deniers and anti-Semites. And so the pictures showed people wearing t-shirts saying 6MWNE or 6 million was not enough. Others said Camp Auschwitz, an obvious ploy suggesting that Auschwitz wasn't a murder factory, but some poshy internment camp. What we know from this, which for the Jew is born from far too much painful history, is that the connection between distorted reality of untethered facts in a society is always most threatening to the weakest and smallest groups within it, which also happens to be the Jews. In a world where people feel no need to accept common basic truths is a world where anything can be believed and anything is possible. Wednesday showed us that we are living once again in a dangerous time. Now, I'll be speaking more about this on Shabbat morning. If you're able, please tune in. If you're not, you'll be able to access my sermon online or on the podcast. But we are being reminded yet again how the assurances and securities that we treasure and deeply rely on are frail things, and we should never take them for granted. But as the sun is about to set on us today, and as Shabbat comes, Jews throughout the world will observe a simple yet deeply profound act. As the sun sets, we light candles, which is to say that as the darkness comes, our answer is light and not fear. Or perhaps said in the language of the ancient rabbis, ein yi'ush, above all else, never despair. We shall endure. We know this. And so a Shabbat Shalom, my dear friends, to a peaceful and blessed Shabbat to you and all of our loved ones.